5497. Center to Edge 5497, Deputy Grant Whitaker. This is the last call for Deputy Grant William Whitaker. End of watch, December 7th, 2014. Gone, but you will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, our friend. We have the watch from here. Show you route to your new duty assignment.
Tom, get out of the camera. Nice. All there. Everybody's here. Everybody's here. Otter, say hello to the camera. Oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm being convenient. I am. I'm going to carry it.
This is the Police Unity Tour. We ride from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. The purpose of it is to raise awareness, to reunite with our fellow officers and the survivors, and to raise money for the National Law Enforcement Memorial.
Chair now recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. Zeldin, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today, this week, as we celebrate National Police Week. We recognize the service and sacrifice of the brave men and women who have lost their lives in the line of duty while serving to protect us. National Police Week began in 1962 when President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which that falls as Police Week. The memorial service began in 1982 as a gathering in Senate Park of approximately 120 survivors and supporters of law enforcement. Decades later, National Police Week has grown to a series of events which attract thousands of survivors and law enforcement officers to our nation's capital each year. National Police Week draws in between 25,000 and 40,000 participants. The National Peace Officers Memorial Service, which is sponsored by the Grand Lodge of the Fraternal Order of Police, is one in a series of events which includes the Candlelight Vigil, which is sponsored by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, and seminars sponsored by Concerns of Police Survivors. The attendees come from departments throughout the United States, as well as from agencies throughout the world. This provides a unique opportunity to meet others who share a common brotherhood. Our police force, all around America, plays an essential role in our communities, putting their lives on the line every day to protect us. Just last week, in my home state of New York, a member of the NYPD, 25-year-old Brian Moore from Long Island, was killed in the line of duty. I'd like to take this opportunity, speaking for many fellow Long Islanders who want his family to know that Brian remains in our thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time. Mark Mogill, a Floridian and former New Yorker, recently wrote to me very passionately defending the law enforcement community, stating in part, "Police officers merit our unwavering appreciation and support as loyal Americans, and our awareness of the traditional and touching parting words almost always used amongst them. Stay safe." It is my strongly held belief that no child should grow up fearing or lacking respect for law enforcement. And for those who consider themselves to be protesters, who resort to violence and stealing and burning down a church-run senior center, you lose any shot of moral high ground when you resort to those tactics. It's so unfortunate that today in our society, we have this anti-police culture with people acting with unjustified acts of violence against our police force. Our police serve and protect us to keep our communities and citizens safe. This week, we honor them for their acts of selfless courage and leadership in our community.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. What's that, Tim?
Guides our work around the world. When our friends are in need, America helps. Sometimes those in uniform get attention only when there's a battle, but they do so much more than that, looking out for folks who are vulnerable or having a tough time, have experienced a disaster. And it can involve great risk and great sacrifice. And we give thanks to all our fellow Americans, military and civilian, who reflect the very best of American leadership around the world. The world's better for them. We are here to honor heroes who lost their lives in the line of duty. Men and women who put themselves in the way of danger so that the rest of us could live in safety. There were beat cops, deputies, detectives, correctional and Forest Service officers, federal agents, and tribal police. But to many here today, they went by different titles. Caring husband, loving wife, my son, my daughter, mom, dad. And so to all the families who are here today, whose loved ones did not come home at the end of a shift, please know how deeply sorry we are for the loss that you've endured. Deeply grateful we are for your loved one's sacrifice. We hold them up as heroes because that's what they are. It takes a special kind of courage to be a peace officer, to be the one people turn to in their most desperate moments, to be willing to run into a dangerous situation when everybody else is running the other way. Scripture tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, but only a special few take that commandment so deeply to heart that they are willing to risk their lives so that others, often total strangers, can know peace and security. And that's what peace officers do.
The Ingham County Sheriff's Office took time to honor its fallen officers. This year, that includes Deputy Grant Whitaker, who died in December during a high-speed chase. His mother, Mary, spoke at today's memorial ceremony and says her heart aches just as badly today as it did the night she learned of her son's death.
Still today, 5 months to the day, those words are like a knife in my heart. Yet there is comfort in knowing that he didn't suffer.
After today's ceremony, the Sheriff's Office unveiled a training room dedicated in Deputy Whitaker's honor. His parents also spoke, telling the department how grateful they were for all the support they've received since their son's death.
Brian. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Stop, Jay! Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Keep riding. Can't ride.
Community.
At around 2 this morning, Deputy Grant Whitaker was chasing a white SUV on Dexter Trail in Stockbridge Township when he lost control, went off the road, and hit a tree. The 25-year-old died shortly after.
We have called the Michigan State Police to the scene to police both the accident and any criminal investigation that needs to take place as a result of the death of this young deputy.
He's the second Ingham County Sheriff's Office employee to die in the line of duty. A sheriff's sergeant was also killed in a car accident more than a decade ago.
Sergeant Paul Cole was tragically killed going to an emergency call when he lost control of his car and hit a tree, and he was killed in 1996.
Deputy Whitaker grew up in Stockbridge, and now people are remembering his impact on the community. Deputy Whitaker went to Stockbridge High School, played on the baseball team, and graduated in 2007. His coach tells me he's the definition of a team player.
Can't think of any greater student athlete that we've had as far as pleasure to have, pleasure to coach, pleasure to be around. Fine young man.
Before working in Ingham County, Whitaker was an officer at the Stockbridge Police Department.
You think about Stockbridge, you think about the Whitakers and his family. Great family and a great individual.
He had worked at the sheriff's office for 1.5 years.
I never really knew exactly what Grant wanted to do when I coached him, but you could tell that everything he did was for the good of people. And I mean, for him to be a police officer and to serve the community is tremendous.
In Stockbridge Township, Joy Wang, Fox 47 News.